Hello, welcome to my channel Conscious Growing. I'm Matthias. Welcome to this video. Today I want to talk about setbacks. And if you are on this path of nervous system regulation, then you exactly know what I'm talking about. And so what I can share is that when I started this journey, I experienced many setbacks, of course, like every one of us. Because in the beginning we don't know what to do and we don't know what this is all about. And our only aim is to get better. But usually we're using the wrong means, the old means, like getting rid of them and fight them and all this kind of stuff. And now we find smarter tools and smarter ways to deal with it, and starting to have more self-care and more compassion with ourselves and others, and to get softer with ourselves, but at the same time building up resilience and straightness. And I'm not talking about willpower, I'm talking about straightness, whatever this would mean for you, like having an aim why you want to recover, or a spiritual background, whatever it is, but something that keeps you going. I think this is really important. Okay, but then what's about the setback? I see it like this. When you start this journey, you probably experienced very weird and strange symptoms and states of fight or flight or even freeze mode. So in other words, the subconscious, the nervous system wanted to protect you, and you passed a certain threshold in your life. In other words, stress threshold. And so when you reached this, the system tried to protect you, and so it started to produce symptoms. And so when you're on this recovery path, you usually slowly make some progress. You learn, you implement, you learn to stay calm, you learn to respond better, you don't take your thoughts so serious anymore, I mean in these difficult states. And so slowly you also make some progress, and you have better periods, better moments, better hours, better days. But then always when you just had a good time, another setback comes. And then what happens? There's frustration, and there is despair, there's anger, sadness. All the emotions come up again, and you don't know how to deal with them. And in the worst case, you start to identify with these emotions and these states. But in the end, we are in a process to regulate ourselves, and the intensity of setback is just a period where the nervous system is kind of calibrating, processing all this inner work we're doing, and it kind of falls back in these old fear patterns, wants to protect us again, sees a threat in something or sees a threat in everything. And this can happen, but when you are in these moments, it's really important to don't change much. And what I mean is keep going and doing the stuff you want to do, maybe in a slower pace, but do them. And it's really important not to get stuck here and think, oh, I'm sitting on the couch and ruminating, why is the setback happening now? So all the whys and what ifs, leave them aside as good as you can. It doesn't need to be perfect, but have this attitude of moving forward, looking forward, going forward. Okay, here's a setback, here's more intensity. So what? It can be here. I experienced this before. I went through this before. I know that this is part of the recovery journey. I'm prepared for that it can happen anytime. So I just keep doing the stuff I want to do. And always consider that these symptoms are painful, unpleasant, but not dangerous. And understand that your body is not broken. Your nervous system is not broken. Your nervous system is doing okay. It just does the job it always did. It's just sensitized. And it's only sensitization. So you might feel anxiety when the symptoms are really high, but do you have an anxiety disorder? I'm not so sure. What if you just break it down to the matter of fact that it is just sensitization? You are sensitized, and because you're sensitized, you experience everything more intense. And that's all. And you can forget about the labels because, for example, when you come out of the other side of a setback, you might feel calm again. Are you still this anxious person? No. You are able to enjoy moments. And we forget about this on this journey, that we also have joyful moments. And so what I want to point out here is really that it's so important how we respond in setbacks. And so one of the things top of the list is distraction. If a setback comes, we want to distract ourselves. We don't want to feel it again. Oh, I felt so good this last week. Why do I have the setback now? And again, don't ruminate on this. But also, don't run away from it. You learn to cope with yourself in these moments. You cope with yourself in the best way, the best of your abilities. And that's all you can do. Because the more often you went through setbacks, you know that this is just the nervous system. And when you're able to see that it's not you, and this is not the state you will be in until the end of your days, that this is just a momentary period, and this period can take months or a year or 2 years, but as long as you work on it and as long as you are in your own process of desensitizing, of reacting better, of especially not adding second fear, mean when the symptom comes, we don't add fearful thoughts, fearful reactions, fearful activities. We learn to be with it, to let it be there, and on the other hand, to not hold ourselves, just let it go through the system, go and float through the setback. And because the setback makes us stronger, not the good times, not the good periods. Yeah, and it's a paradox, you know, because our aim is to get better and have less symptoms. And when you have these days with less symptoms, you think, wow, this is a success. And it is, of course it is. But we don't want to have these difficult moments. But in these difficult moments shows how strong we really are, how resilient we really are, how much we care, how much we get sucked in these negative feelings, how much we fuel these negative feelings and thoughts, and how much we run away from them. And the more we are able to stay and to come to this monk, this Zen attitude, and we don't need to become monks on purpose, but we can get this part to allow everything to happen. And when we allow everything to happen, even the worst setback, this is self-mastery. For sure it is. And it needs repetition. And I think this is one of the the, the tricks of the mind, so to speak, because let's say you have gone through this for a year or even longer, and you see that you make progress sometimes, but then there's another setback, and you say, oh no, not again. Why me? Why this setback again? I was doing so good. And there it decides where your journey continues. Because when you end up in saying, oh my God, I'm on this track for a year already, and I'm still at square one. This is how people used to call it. Yeah, I'm back to square one. I'm just back to the beginning. No, it's not true. Because all the progress we made before, all this inner work, all this way responding, it is in our system. Sometimes we don't see it. In the setback, we don't see it, but the progress is under the radar of our conscious mind. There is something going on. And every time we respond well, every time we are not caught up in this difficult moments of a setback, the more progress we make. And it's definitely working for us. And we don't know what the outcome is. So it needs consistency and it needs patience, of course, because these cycles and these difficult moments, they can be endless and they repeat. And yeah, it's understandable when you are in it for a year or even longer, or for some people it's decades. Of course, there are some heavy patterns in us, but recovery is possible. We see it out there. There are recovery stories, people who made it. So it's definitely possible. But we can see that it's possible, but we have to find it in ourselves. We have to build up this resilience and strength. And even if it's the 100th setback, you're still saying, okay, I'm accepting this setback. I go through it as calm, as quiet as possible, quietly going on with my life, quietly going on with the things I want to do, and I let it happen. and I'm just observing where I have my resistances, and maybe I can resist less and can allow it to happen. And for sure, when we are in this attitude of allowance, then it will pass faster. This is clear. But it's a subtle game. It's not trying to do it. It's not trying to accept. It's really like it is what it is. So you can say, okay, it is what it is, and I'll let it go through me. I'm here. I'm present. I'm not running away from the sensations, but also I don't care too much about them. I don't take them too serious. Because again, this is just a high alert state and it's unpleasant, but doesn't do any harm. And so saying yes to the setbacks is a real winner in the long run. And if you're able to accept them when they are there without fighting and without doubting that you're still on the right track, this is the way to move forward for sure. So yeah, this is it for today. And if you're in a setback right now, I really want to encourage you, use the opportunity to look at your resistance and float through it as good as you can. Lay down your weapons and let it happen, so the body knows what to do. And the less we are holding ourselves up, the more it can just sweep through us. So yeah, so again, if you want some extra help, I offer a 30-minute call and we can have a look on your specific situation, and maybe I can support you on this journey, and we find opportunities to support you and ways to support you if you need some help. So I'm always glad for comments, and send it to someone who's struggling right now. And yeah, hope to see you soon, and bye for now.